Hello teacher Janelle, my name is Oliver de la Cruz, and today I'm gonna talk about the video games. Basically I choose this topic because I've been a big fan of the video games since I was like 7 years old. So for me it's a very interesting theme, and I'm gonna talk about that today in my exposition. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm gonna start right now. The desire to play is as old as humanity itself. For children, it's a vital tool to prepare them for life. And for adults, it's a way of escaping from reality and having a few moments of entertainment to yourself. Like almost all aspects of life, gaming too has moved into the digital world in recent decades. In 2018, one third of the world's population regularly spent time playing video games, whether on their mobile phone, a game console, or a computer. The rise of the video game began in the 1970s but has its roots in events that happened about 20 years earlier. The computer scientists began designing simple games and simulations on mainframe computers. In 1962, the first game to be played with a video display was a game called Space War. The early 70s brought the first consumer-ready video game hardware. The first home video game console, it was called the Magnavox Odyssey, and the first arcade video game from Atari was the Computer Space and Pong, which was later made into a home console version. Numerous companies sprang up the Pong's success in both the arcade and the home console by creating clones of the game, causing a market contraction in 1978 due to oversaturation and lack of innovation. During the peak of platform games' popularity, platform games were estimated to consist of between a quarter and a third of all console games, but have since been supplanted by first-person shooters. In 2006, the genre experienced a decline in popularity, representing a 2% market share as compared to 15% in 1998. However, the genre still exists in the commercial environment with a number of games selling in millions of units. A platform game requires the player to maneuver their character across platforms to reach a goal, while confronting enemies and avoiding obstacles along the way. These games are either presented from the side view using two-dimensional movement or in 3D with the camera placed either behind the main character or in an isometric perspective. The typical platforming gameplay tends to be very dynamic and challenges a new player reflexes, timing, and uh, and release with the controls. The most common movement options in the genre are walking, running, jumping, attacking, and climbing. Jumping is the key element of the gameplay in all platform games and can be categorized as either committed or variable. Whether the trajectory of a committed jump cannot be changed midair, that for a variable jump can. In some platform games, falling from considerable heights may cause damage, possibly even leading to death of the character. Many platform games feature zones within the game world that, that would kill the player character instantly upon contact, such as lava pits or bottomless charms. Through the various areas of the game world, player may be able to collect items and power-ups that can come in handy on different situations. Here in the graphics, we can see the console history timeline by generation. The development of the video games consoles follows the history of video game in the North American and Japanese markets. Few other markets saw any significant console development on their own, such as in Europe where personal computers tended to be favored alongside imports of video game consoles. The clones of video game consoles in less developed markets like China and Russia are not considered here in the graphic. Right here, we can see the most popular video games like Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4, which I play myself. We can see also the Nintendo Switch, which is very popular, and so on. Obviously, the gaming or the video games has positive effects on humans and negative effects. One of the positive effects that the video game has is that we can improve our everyday skills. Like we can improve, for example, our hand-eye coordination and attention, and improve both working memory and rapid decisions. We can also improve the basic visual processes. It has been shown that the video games increase the person that is playing it, the ability to distinguish often, a lot of difference in shades of gray, and also can improve our visual contrast sensitivity, and also in many cases it might help us with anxiety and depression, because when we play the video games, we have fun, and sometimes we play with our friends, and we can have a good time when we play video games, and that can also solve as I said, the anxiety and depression. And obviously the negative effects that the video games has is that video games, in a lot of cases, not in general, but in many cases, the video games can make a lot of people more violent, because a lot of these games are, when you use like a gun and you shoot people, or a lot of games are fighting and all that stuff. And also, one of the negative effects is that it may decrease the player's abilities to concentrate, like on the other things. Like, for example, for kids, they might focus a lot on the video games and forgot like about their homework, or the other chores that they have to do. And also, which I think is like the most common and the most impactful, is that the video games can become addictive. Like if you let a kid, or even an adult or a teenager, whatever, they can spend hours and hours and hours and hours without even realizing that they have all that much time playing. So yeah, those are basically the three negative effects of video games. Well, that was my exposition teacher. Obviously, I chose this topic because the video games have become very impactful in today's society, and also it's a big part of technology, and also the video games have been improving every year. So that's why I choose this topic, and also because, as I said earlier, I'm a big fan of video games. I've been playing them since I was a baby, basically. So yeah, I hope you like it, and yeah, that's all for me. Bye.